All of us are searching, knowingly or unknowingly, for enlightenment, truth, and harmony in our lives. This program, hosted by Dr. Gregory Penn, will help you aspire to a more fulfilling and rewarding life.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Aspire Unplugged. Today we're going to look at bliss and love and how that works in our lives. And I know that I've personally had a couple of experiences that I felt what was bliss in my heart, you know. And I can show you a couple of pics from that. This was actually at one of your retreats.
Yeah,
we were shooting the gal, and she was in bliss, and I just felt it and felt that energy in the room. And next thing I know, I was hugging her, and everybody was hugging everybody else, and I was just so happy at that moment. And then, of course, also in India,
Yes.
when the Dadis were giving us darshan, and I could just feel this energy, and it was just everything I could do to take it in, you know.
Yeah.
And I started sweating like mad. It was just rolling off my face, and it was something.
Yeah, those were great moments.
So do you think bliss is what is it? Is that the end goal we're striving for?
Bliss,
to feel that in our lives?
No, it's not the end goal, but bliss occurs when love is present. And if love is not present, real love, then bliss cannot occur. And I used to run energy darshans, back in the day at a Silmar, and you were there, and I mean, the room lit up, and that students were flying high. It is only when love is present. And to get that place where love is present is for the student, I guess you could say it could be contagious.
I totally agree with that. We shot Ram Dass one time, and it was a big retreat for people dying of cancer. And, it's kind of a somber subject. One woman at the event actually had a psychotic break through the process, and they had to take her away and get her to some medical treatment. And the room, without Ram Dass present, the room exploded in this joyous. They had this band there playing, tablas and stuff, and the energy of the room just came to life.
Yeah.
And people were like, just, it was like a revival or something, And it was truly an amazing thing.
Yeah, it can happen that way. I've had with my students, I've had my time with them of doing energy work, darshan work. It does help them, but then what happens is eventually, and I had this in Pune when I was with Bhagwan, then people start going to it when they're feeling depressed, and they use that like they would an antidepressant. And of course then
it falls apart. Does it?
It does. What happens is, I wasn't as high this time as I was before, and then that's when I stopped. Because the only reason they were coming to see me is because I was giving them darshan and energy darshan, and I had to stop. I just had to stop because I am there to help them with the structure of their inner life. I'm not there to give them a relief from their body and their outer life. And that's very hard for them to understand. The body, it's lonely. People are very lonely. Everyone on the planet is lonely. And the reason we are lonely is because we've never discovered our soul. Never. And we don't even know what it is. And that in the human psyche, I have to know where it is and what it is to obtain it. But the soul isn't like that. The soul is like every breath you take. You don't know, you don't see your breath. You don't know where your breath is coming from. And when you exhale, you don't see it exhale. It is something that happens, it's physiological. It is also affects the psychology, but it also is very transformational. And if a person isn't into that kind of, I don't know, I only don't know, then they try to make things happen that aren't there, and then they use their emotions and their passions, and then it isn't bliss anymore. Bliss comes out of everywhere to nowhere, back to everywhere, because love is present.
Is it a taste of enlightenment when you're in that moment of bliss?
Could be.
Yeah.
The way I always thought of it was that they could slip right into it if they were persevering. But here's what happens. The body catches up to them and goes, what are you doing? You're having an experience without me. Oh, I can't have that, and calls the ego in,
Yeah.
and then the emperor of all malice, emotions, the human heart, and then it's all lost.
Right.
And then the student, because they're new at it, they can't, what happened to me? What happened? And if I explain it to them, which I do in nauseating detail, they get insulted and angry. So I can't help them.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you want to take a look at a clip?
Sure.
This is from The Prophet on Love,
Ooh.
which is another great series you can find on YouTube.
We call love emotion, we call love passion, we call love sexuality. And while love is involved in sexuality, it has nothing at all to do with it. And while love is present in everything, even in the ugly things in life like anger and hostility and resentment, love is none of those things. Love is something that cannot be spoken. Love is felt. And only the sensitive can feel love. Those people who have practiced the art of silence within themselves, they are the people that feel love. Love is felt. It's not felt as an emotion. It is not something that can be spoken about or looked at through the eyes and through the intellect. Love is totally illogical, and it is the single most dangerous experience of your life.
All of that is
Danger,
true.
danger, danger.
Rodney Dangerfield. It is the most dangerous thing in a person's life, and we make sure it doesn't happen for the most part, because everything's going to change.
Yeah.
Everything. I mean, you have an experience of love. Everybody thinks, well, you had this blissful, beautiful. Yeah, but now I'm not the same anymore. I don't look the same to me inwardly. My psychology is quickly crumbling away. I'm no longer interested in the conflict that made my life possible and that I've enjoyed all these years. And then the husband, wife, whatever, who gets this, and the kids, they are, what happened to you? You're in a cult, or you're crazy, or whatever. And then when the human catches all this and starts tearing people apart inside, which is supposed to do, because the person doesn't know how to transcend that body, then back to square one again, over and over and over and over.
Well, a student
Trying to get that feeling again, as
Oh.
Barry Manilow said.
Yes, cue the
Yeah.
Well, a student asks, "What do I have to do to let love take over? Why can't it just come to me?"
It doesn't come to you, it's within you. And the reason I won't let it take over inside me is because then I won't have the control I think I have. People want control of their life. They think they're in control. They're not. All the time that we're sitting here, there are elements in our body slowly killing us. Okay? Slowly. Doctor said if you come, 6 months earlier, I could have saved your life. But what was I doing 6 months earlier? I was eating the pizza, doing the thing. Yeah. So there's the problem.
Yeah.
You get it, don't you?
Sure.
Yeah. So,
Well, another student asks, "Why is the practice you teach so difficult?" I mean, love is inside you. It's right there. It's right next to you. And yet it's so hard to get it and pull it out.
that is a very true statement. Everything is in proportion to the level of my silence. There are 3 things I teach my students: simplicity, solitude, and silence. If they don't practice those 3 things, they don't understand them, then it won't happen. Everything that I've found that helped me to awaken to at least where I am now has been through silence. It's been allowing it to enter in. And in that silence, it's about no thing. I'm interested in nothingness, not somethingness. I'm not trying to get anything. I'm not trying anymore. I give up. I surrender. And I think love is a huge surrender. And silence facilitates that. And I don't think a lot of people are much interested in that kind of surrender. Because in America, in the West, surrender is weakness. Not my will, but thy will be done. We don't do that. We don't do that. We have politics and religion and things, and we have this premise of what I was reading this morning that this country was based and born from Christian premise, Christian background, and look where we are.
Well, and what you're saying about silence too, it's very hard for people to live in silence nowadays. You know, everybody's got multiple devices. They're
True.
plugged in. Something's going. I'm
True.
guilty of it. You know, and you have to create space for that silence to even happen, and it's less and less.
That's the solitude. You know, I have to live in a certain solitude. Even when I'm around people, I disappear. Nobody knows I'm there. I go to the airport after this is all over and everything, and you know there's throngs of people in San Diego, and I go in, I disappear. I'm not there, and I watch my body do what it's doing, but now it's more subdued than ever before, and I joke around with it inside my little entourage of friends. Can't figure out if it's my awakening or my age. I think it's my age. But, you know, as you get older, you can get wiser.
Yeah, I hope so. Gosh, what else is there?
Yeah, right. What else is there?
Well, thank you so much for
You're
your
welcome,
humility
sweetie.
and your this discussion of this. And I want you all to know, too, that he doesn't know the questions that we're going to ask him. And so he's just as surprised as probably you are to hear some of the things that are coming out.
It's true.
And it's been really good. And we're getting down to it. There's only 2 episodes left. So please tune in for those. We'll catch you real soon.